Well, hello and welcome to the rather lovely Alexandra Gardens. The blossoms are out. It's looking very pretty down here on a slightly overcast April morning. I wanted to come back and just follow up on something I said in a previous video. You see, when I did the Butte Town video, I mentioned that there was a proposal to build a cable car that went from the back of Cardiff station down to Cardiff Bay and then across to Penarth, and I was a bit skeptical about it. I'm not anti-cable car. I've ridden on them around Europe, and there's some proposals at the moment to build some commuter ones in Paris, but I just don't think it's practical to take across Cardiff Bay. But the interesting thing is, it's not the first proposal for a cable car for Cardiff, and that one actually ran. So let me tell you the story of the Great Exhibition. You see, round about the Victorian and Edwardian eras, there was a lot of industry, enterprise, and, well, the agrarian revolution, the industrial revolution, and Britain was very keen to show off its wares to the world. The Great Exhibition at Crystal Palace in 1851 was the forerunner of a number of other exhibitions, and Cardiff was no different. A group of public figures, businessmen, called themselves the Free Library of Cardiff, and got together and proposed that they would also have an exhibition of industry and art that would take place in Cardiff and showcase the best of the wares of the area. On board was Lord Bute, always a good person to have on board because he owned a lot of land, and he offered up Cathays Park. Now, if you look on the map, you can see Cathays Park is north of Cardiff, nothing built there now. If you look at the Google Maps, you can see it's where City Hall is, it's where the museum is, it's where the courts are, and in fact, it's where this garden is I'm sitting in right now. It was going to be a big exhibition. It extended from the North Road, from College Road down to the Friary. The exhibition was planned to run for 6 months, and it opened in June 1896. The main pavilion was designed by a gentleman called Edwin Seward, and it was built, as you can see from this line drawing, in a very Moorish Arabic style. What's exciting was the exhibition was documented with photographs, and here is a photo of that building in black and white, and a souvenir brochure of the day. Just goes to show the wonderful colours that they used. The pavilion itself contained lots of artworks and lots of small industrial exhibits, but it was the grounds behind it which is what people flocked to see, because they really did go to town. There was a cycle track where you could race your bike. There was a bicycle railway which had kind of like 4 grooves with bikes in them, and you again could race around. There was a lake for maritime exhibits. Oh, and by the way, a half-a-mile canal which was dug specially and lit with gas lights. There was a working dairy, a replica of Shakespeare's house, believe it or not, and a biscuit factory. There was all sorts for people to see. There were art exhibitions, there were circus exhibits with lions and tigers, and there was even an opera that took place today called Santiago, with moving scenery and a cast of literally hundreds. It was an absolute spectacular. We're quite fortunate with the records that there is this photo album in the National Museum of Wales collection, which shows some of the photos from the time. The first railway coaches of the Bodmin and Wadebridge Railway, a ladies' clubhouse, as I say, Shakespeare's house and the working dairy, but also this Indian bazaar, which kind of took Exit Bar, the gift shop, to a different level. And there was royal patronage. The Prince of Wales, Edward, who subsequently became Edward VII, and his wife, Alexandra, and 2 of their children, Princesses Victoria and Maud, visited. They came in right at the start of the exhibition in June 27th. The council met them at the exhibition and inducted them into the Roll of Honour, and the following statement was read, and I quote, that they were welcome to the largest and most important town in Wales, the enterprise of which may to some extent be measured by the exhibition buildings in which we now assembled, and to which the Queen had graciously pleased to patronise. Yes, the Queen was a patron of the exhibition. The Taff Vale laid on a special engine for them, and again a photo of that exists, polished to the hilt and decorated with pride. At night, the whole grounds were lit by 10,000 electric-powered fairy lights. Remembering, electricity power was new in those days. I did a little video about a substation in Newport, transformer thing, some years ago, and it was all very brand new and very innovative, fitting beautifully with the theme of the exhibition. Sadly, not everything went to plan. You see, there was this balloon exhibit, and the idea was you had a hot air balloon, which is quite innovative for its day, and you'd have someone sitting on a kind of trapeze thing underneath it with a parachute on, raise up into the air about 1,000 feet, and they would then jump and float gently to Earth. That was the plan. Enter Louisa Maud Evans, 14.5 years old, from Bristol. She had left to seek fame and fortune and hooked up with this balloonist, and the idea she would fly under the name of Mademoiselle Alberta. The balloon went up, she was tethered to it, and just for extra precaution, she had a life preserver, life jacket on as well. Unfortunately, it was windy, and the balloon flew away. It headed away from the ground, and Louisa jumped. She floated down to what was sadly not Earth, but into the sea. And even though the life preserver kept her afloat for a bit, sadly, she passed away. Her body was washed ashore 4 days later at Nash near Newport, and after a coroner delivered a verdict of accidental death, there was a small case of a funeral. The people of Cardiff dug into their pockets and basically raised the money for a decent funeral and a decent burial. And for the first time ever, a Benz, as in Mercedes-Benz hearse, was used to get poor Louisa from Newport over to Cardiff for the burial. All along the way, the villagers came out to see not just Louisa and pay their respects to her, but to see the sight of this motor hearse, something absolutely brand new. When they got to the cemetery here at Tays, the chapel was absolutely overflowing with people. So many people wanted to pay their respects. And around the graveside was a great crowd. And today, she lies here. The money raised enabled the people to buy a decent headstone, and it is well looked after by the Friends of Cathay Cemetery. In memory of Louisa Maud Evans, aged 14.5 years. Came to find her fame and fortune. No fortune, and sadly, not the fame that perhaps she would have chosen. The exhibition was a phenomenal success, and in the 6 months that it ran, it attracted over 1 million visitors, some of them using a joint railway and exhibition ticket to get in. Okay, Bob, what's this got to do with cable cars? Well, in the August of that year, a new exhibit within the exhibition opened. It was called an aerial railway. It was 50 feet above ground, 200 yards long, and this newspaper article from the time describes its opening. It had been used elsewhere, but it was certainly new to Cardiff. The great thing about it is there are 2 photographs showing it. This one and this one, showing Cardiff's first and to date only cable car. After the exhibition, the area was developed. The museum, City Hall, the law courts were built, and Gorside Gardens, the site of which is Brodie's Coffee, which I did in another video, which used to be a tramway ticket office for the brand new electric tramways in 1902. So I hope you've enjoyed this short tale, a part of Cardiff's history, and as I say, its first and to date only cable car. Until next time.